What's up, Stone Squads? Welcome back. Another episode. Today we're going to talk about polynomial functions. So what is a polynomial function is, first we need to talk about what is a monomial. So if I have this is a monomial. It has a coefficient. Your a value has a variable, and then it has an exponent. So if you combine all these guys, you get a monomial. Well, a polynomial is if you add and subtract a bunch of monomials together. So that's how we get a polynomial. So today we're going to talk about how do you add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. Well, we talked about binomials already. So how do you get binomials? Well, binomial means what? Binomial is a form of a polynomial. It just means two terms. A trinomial is three terms. So if you look at my factoring videos, we talked about trinomials and binomials. So it's the same concept there. Those are all types of polynomials. So adding, subtracting, multiplying is very simple because when you add and subtract, all we are doing is combining like terms. Combining like terms. What does it mean by like terms? It just means you're going to combine values that has the same exponent corresponding with the same variables. So x and x, well, they have a highest degree of 1. So they have like terms because their highest, if the variable is x and the highest exponent is 1. Like x squared and then 2x squared. Those are like terms because they have a variable of x and they have an exponent of 2. You could use any other types of variables. You could use y, you could use z. You could even use like xy squared and then 3xy squared, right? Because they have xy squared, x to the 1 power and then y to the 2 power. The second power, we can say they're like terms. So your goal is to combine these guys together. So let's try an example. So if I give you a binomial, and I want you to add that to a trinomial, all you are doing is combining like terms. So then I see this x squared, I like to underline my different terms, so it's easier. Sometimes when you have a big polynomial function, add, subtract, and multiply to another big polynomial function, we tend to forget certain values. We can miss it, or we can add it twice, so then it throws off our answers. So I like to be organized in this case. So if I have x squared plus 3x squared, how many x squares do I have? You have 4. It's not 4x to the 4th. We're not adding the exponents. When we add and subtract, we're essentially just combining them. We're trying to find a quantity. So if I have x squares and x squares, how many x squares do I have? I have 2x squares. If I have 1x squared and 3x squares, how many x squares do I have? I have 4 of them, so I have 4x squares. And then my next guy, I have 3x minus 4x, so how many x's do I have there? I have 1, negative 1x, and then we just have a minus 1 at the end. So a couple of things you can notice is that I'm actually starting at wherever my highest degree exponent begins. So highest degree just means your highest exponent, which is 2, and then I work my way down. So sometimes you might have a highest degree of 7. That's your starting, and then you just kind of work your way down, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is that going to do is it's going to actually put your answer in order from highest to lowest degree. We need to always have our answer that way. It helps us identify a lot of things like our constant value, and also it helps us identify our leading coefficient as well. These guys give us a lot. And you'll notice through my next videos, you'll see that in polynomials, these guys represent a lot. This guy actually represents your y-intercept. This guy represents your end behaviors. Is my graph going up, up, down, 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 up, down? This guy is going to determine that. But if you don't have it in order, you're going to mess up your end behaviors and your y-intercept. All right. Subtraction, it's the same concept with subtraction. The only thing you have to do is distribute the negative. So I'm not going to do that. But multiplication, is what I kind of want to focus on. If I have a binomial times a binomial, we have to distribute. A lot of teachers like to teach it foiling, but foiling only works if it's a binomial times a binomial. In our case, there could be other ways since polynomial. We could have a trinomial times a binomial. And then foiling won't work. So I just like to call it distribution. So I'm going to distribute the x squared to both. Well, if you have x squared times x, well, how many x's do I have? Well, you have, if I expand this, you have 3 of them. So what is my math? When you multiply same bases, you're gonna add the exponents. So you have x cubed. Here, when you distribute, you just have 3x squared. And then here, when you multiply, you have 1x plus 3. Then you multiplied it all out. Alright, so that concludes our lesson with add, subtract, multiplying polynomial functions. Adding and subtracting is very simple. You're just combining like terms. Multiplying, you gotta distribute to every term. And then remember, when you're multiplying same bases, what do you have to do? Good, you have to add the exponents. We're not multiplying the exponents. Alright, so with our lesson, let's try 3 problems. Our beginner, intermediate, advanced problems. So here is your beginner problem. You have a polynomial, x squared plus 2x minus 1 plus 3x squared plus 4x minus 3. Shouldn't take you no more than a minute. I'm gonna give you about 30 seconds to a minute. Try this, try your best. Pause it as you go, and then make sure you check your answers as well. Go. Alright, let's see. I always start with my highest exponent in this case, which is 2. I have 2 there and there. So I'm going to combine those guys. So if you have 1x squared plus 3x squared, how many x squares do you have? Good. You have 4x squares. And then if you have 2x and then 4x, and you're going to add them, it's positive 2x plus a positive 4x, you have 6x. How many x's? You have 6 of them, and then you have your constant value, which is -1 minus 3, which is going to be -4. Circle our answers. If you can see here, because we checked largest exponent to smallest, we also have our answers in highest exponents to lowest exponent. So check your answer, make sure you did this correctly. If you did incorrectly, check your work, see where your mistakes are, and let's get ready for our intermediate problem. Alright, intermediate problem. We're going to take 3x squared minus 2x plus 1, subtract 2x squared minus 3x plus 4. So give about 30 seconds to a minute. Try this. Be careful. We are subtracting one polynomial to another polynomial. We're subtracting, so you actually technically have to distribute the negative first. So do that. Try your best. Don't give up. Go. Alright, let's see what you got. So I'm going to distribute first. I'm going to take one extra step. You don't need the parentheses anymore once we distribute here. So you have minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 4. So as you can tell, my signs here are switched. Now we're going to combine like terms. So x squared was my highest exponent, so I'm going to start there. You have 3x squared minus 2x squared, so how many x squareds do you have? Good, you have 1x squared. Then you have negative 2x plus 3x, so how many x's do you have? 1x, 3 minus 2, and then last but not least, you have your constant value, which is 1 minus 4, which is minus 3. They're in highest to lowest. This is your constant term. That's your highest exponent with the leading coefficient of 1. So check your answers, make sure you got this correct. If you didn't, be careful with the distribution, see if that's where your mistake was. But let's get ready for our advanced problem. Alright, your advanced problem, I want you to multiply x squared plus 3x minus 4 times 2x minus 1. So you are taking a trinomial, you're multiplying by a binomial. All you have to do is distribute and share the values. So I put the arrows there, you're multiplying. Remember, when you multiply same bases, what do? Good, you have to add the exponents. So try that, try your best. This is your advanced problem. We can do more practice after this. I'm gonna give about a minute for this, try your best, go. Alright, let's try it. Let's distribute. So x squared times 2x. So you have 2x cubed. Because you have x squared and 1x, that's 3x's, so x cubed. And then you have x squared times 2x. We did that, so you have x squared minus 1, so you have minus x squared. Now we start with the 3x. 3x times 2x is what? 6x squared. You multiply the coefficients and then you add the exponents. And then you have minus 3x there, that's 3x times negative 1. And then you have minus 8x plus 4 once you distribute the 4. Lots of values, this is why I like to be organized and underline my terms. My highest is 2x cubed. There's nothing else. Then we go to our x squares, which is what? Plus 5x squared. And then you go to your next guy, which is negative 3x minus 8x. You have minus 11x. And you have a 4 at the end. But once again, it's organized. I hit up all my values. This one at the end. So I use them all, and then I have my answer from highest exponent to lowest exponent. So check your answers. If you got it correct, great. Add, subtract, multiply is good. You mastered it, and I can move on to the next video. But that concludes our lesson with add, subtract, multiply, and polynomial functions. Hopefully these videos are helping you guys. If it did, please subscribe to my channel. Please like my videos. And turn on your notifications. Let's get ready for some more math videos. Great job.